Hi there, Richard Fulmer here, and welcome to another edition of Richard's Rock Rambles, edition number 50. So yeah, sort of a mini milestone, and on behalf of myself and my partner in crime, Michael Erfurt, I would just like to thank everybody who's contributed to the channel in comments, liking, subscribing, just following it, even if you're just a casual follower. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And I'm having a lot of fun. It's a long way to go, lots to talk about still. And yeah, just again, thank you so much. Great stuff. Okay, so today we're going to have a short and sweet episode. In our blues rock journey, we're going to look at a band. We only made 3 albums, but they were all pretty good albums, especially the debut. I'm talking about the band Badlands from the States. Some notable gentlemen in the band. They started in 1988 and they went on till 1993. So in the band we have Jakey Lee. Of course, Jakey Lee was the one-time guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne. He was with there for the albums Bark at the Moon and The Ultimate Sin. He replaced the late great Randy Rhoads. And I always thought he was a guitarist, one of the guitarists in Ozzy's band who doesn't get enough credit. A really good guitarist. But in this band, Badlands, was where he really shone, as far as I'm concerned. On vocals and harmonica, you had Ray Gillen. Ray Gillen also spent a short time in Black Sabbath. He was the vocalist there. I don't think there was anything ever officially released with him on. I know there's a bootleg version of an alternate version of the Eternal Idol album by Black Sabbath, where Ray Gillen's vocals appear. And that was before Tony Martin took over on vocals. So I think that is available on YouTube. On bass, a gentleman by the name of Greg Chaisson. I think that's how you say his surname. And on drums, Eric Singer. Of course, Eric Singer went on to join Kiss. And I think he's still with him to this day. There is a third album, which I don't have to show you, that was called Dusk from 1988. And that was actually, 1998. And that was actually released long after the band didn't exist anymore, because they broke up in 93. I think it was only released in Japan, but it is available now. I think you can get copies of that. The other two, the 2 official albums, are pretty hard to find. So yeah, if you have the CDs or the albums, you're lucky. Ray Gillen unfortunately passed away in December 1993. He had AIDS and he had all sorts of complications. So died pretty young as well. And Jakey Lee is still going. His most recent album is a album by the band Red Dragon Cartel. And the album is called Patina, and that was in 2018. So he's still going strong. And he has released a few other things, one of them which I will show you a little later. So let's jump in and look at the first album that came out in 1989. Simply entitled Badlands. Trust me, you need this album. If you're looking for a really good slice of hardcore blues rock with great vocals, stunning guitar work, great riffs, memorable songs, good songwriting, you need this. You can't go wrong. I mean, there's not a bad track on this album. This particular album has a bonus track, this particular version, I should say, called Ball and Chain. High Wire, just a cracking first track with some searing guitar work from Jakey Lee. I don't think he was appreciated enough in Ozzy's band. Here he just shines on every single track. So that's a great track to kick off. Dreams in the Dark, where you hear how good Ray Gillen is on vocals. Such a shame he's not around anymore. He had an incredible voice. Part Ronnie James Dio, Tony Martin, that kind of style. He could sing anything. He could sing the Telephone Directory if he had to. Jade Song, which is more of a mellow song. Winter's Call, Dancing on the Edge, brilliant rocker. Streets Cry Freedom, excellent. Hard Driver, that's a really up-tempo track as well. Rumbling Train, which is more of a bluesy track. It's blues rock, this album, but with a definite edge to it. Devil Stomp, and the last track is Seasons. As I said, this one features Ball and Chain, which is a bonus track. So that's the guys over there. Jakey Lee is over there, and that's Ray Gillen on the other side, and the other 2, sorry for the glare, in the middle, that's Eric Singer and Greg Chasson. I don't think there's much to show you inside. No, it's just the songs. There we go. So yeah, an amazing debut album, and one of the bands that I wish had carried on. You know, that they had internal strife at one stage. You know, as bands do, guys don't agree with things, and the next thing you know, Ray Gillen was gone. Second album, and this one came out in 1991. It's called Voodoo Highway. Perhaps not as strong as the first one, but still a good rock album nonetheless. The Last Time is a good track. Show Me the Way, Shine On, Whiskey Dust, that's a good track. I was actually listening to this again last night just to refresh my memory, and it's got some good stuff on here. Joe's Blues, 3 Day Funk. That's another thing with this band. There was quite a big funk element as well, and some serious grooves. The only difference on this album is the drummer, Eric Singer, had left, and he was replaced by Jeff Martin on drums. And there's quite a bit of harmonica on here as well. Ray Gillen was quite an accomplished guy on the harmonica, harking back to the 70s when most lead singers could play the harmonica, like Ian Gillen, Robert Plant, Mark Farner from Grand Funk. So Voodoo Highway, also a really good album. If you can find this, you can't go wrong. I don't know if you can see that. There's pictures of the guys. That's Jeff Martin at the bottom over there. So those are the two that I have. There is a third album called Dusk. Also a good album. Some fairly good tracks on it. Production's not that great. It was only released in Japan for some reason for many years, and then it was made available worldwide. And as I say, I think you can still get that online these days. Much later, in fact, I think this was in the 2000s, 2003, Jakey Lee released a covers album. This glare is terrible. And this one is called Retraced. And on here you've got Jakey Lee on guitars, Chris Logan on vocals, Ainsley Dunbar on drums. Of course, he's drummed for everybody from David Bowie to Frank Zappa. I think he was in Journey in the beginning as well. And Tim Bogert on bass. Of course, Tim Bogert came to fame with the band Cactus. And it's a good album. Some really good versions of great songs on here. There's a really good track, version of the track I Come Tumbling, which is the Grand Funk track. They do a pretty good version on here. And the Cactus track, Tim Bogert being in the band, the track Evil. They do a really great version of that as well. Rock Candy, I think that was Montrose. They do a nice version on here as well. And there's Mr. Jake. I think he's playing an acoustic there. This guy was accomplished on electric and acoustic. Yeah, a really good musician, and I think he needs a lot more credit than he gets. Still going strong. So there we go, short and sweet, Badlands. I urge everybody to go and check this band out. Great vocals. It's the complete package for blues rock. It's all you need. If you're thinking back to bands like Bad Company, bit of Free with the blues thrown in. Really great band. And that debut album for me is one of the best debut albums ever. So there we go. Next time, when I see you guys, we're going to be chatting about a gentleman who's made so many albums and so many DVDs. He's a workaholic, Joe Bonamassa. So that'll be quite a lengthy episode, I think, as opposed to this one. Have a good week. Like and subscribe down below if you haven't yet. Any comments, more than welcome. And once again, thank you so much for sticking around for the past 50 episodes. Have a great week. Cheers.